Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. Let's get into this message because right away, these three emotion cards don't feel like they belong together. I've got trust, faith, perplexity. So I'm getting like trust and faith. This makes perfect sense, right? If you trust something, you usually have faith in it too. That's easy. But when we hit perplexity, this is where the message gets a little interesting, I'm going to say, because perplexity, that's confusion. Perplexity is looking at a situation and saying to yourself, something about this isn't making sense. Something about this isn't adding up. Something about this emotional scene doesn't match reality. And what's interesting is that I'm getting that the collective is sitting in this perplexity. No, the collective is not sitting in this perplexity. The collective is sitting in front of trust and faith. This is not the collective. So naturally, the question becomes, who in this situation is confused? Because somebody here is definitely confused. And with these tarot cards, I think we might just find the answer here. So let's get started at the top. We have Justice, the King of Wands reverse, and the King of Coins upright. So immediately, I don't think these two kings are equals. I think Justice is exposing the contrast. This King of Coins feels like the collective. And that's not because I'm saying the collective is masculine. Y'all know the tarot doesn't read genders like that. I'm getting this as the collective because this is the energy the collective has been carrying. This is responsibility, stability, groundedness. This is real life obligations, real life consequences. I am getting y'all have been carrying reality. And y'all have been showing up, handling y'all's responsibilities, building y'all's life. Y'all have been maintaining y'all's obligations and dealing with the consequences of y'all's own choices. Operating inside reality whether you like it or not. That is the full King of Coins energy for you right there. But the way these cards came out, directly above this King of Coins is this King of Wands reverse. So, this king is not showing up in healthy energy tonight. This is unpredictable, controlling, ruthless, boorish. Immature. So this, to me, doesn't feel like someone who lacks confidence. This feels like someone trying to maintain control because their confidence is missing. And that's different. Because a healthy King of Wands energy, they don't need to dominate the room. A healthy King of Wands energy, they naturally command the room. So this feels like someone forcing outcomes, forcing narratives, forcing attention, and forcing control. And the more I sit in this, the more I feel like this person's entire reality is built around image, built around perception, built around maintaining a version of themselves. And the problem with that is, the moment reality starts exposing cracks in this king's image, that's when everything becomes a threat. Truth becomes a threat. Accountability becomes a threat. Consequences become a threat. Anybody who is refusing to participate in this king's illusion becomes a threat. And that's exactly why this Justice card is sitting on the top of both of these kings. This is a clear right versus wrong way to see it. I'm getting, just to talk about justice a little more. Justice doesn't care about perception. Justice cares about reality. Justice doesn't care about image. Justice cares about truth. And justice doesn't care about the story. Justice only cares about cause and effect. And I'm getting that when justice enters the room, the contrast becomes impossible to ignore here. One energy is grounded. One energy is unstable. One energy is carrying responsibility. The other is avoiding responsibility. This one is standing in reality. This one is standing in ding, 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 distortion. Isn't that the key phrase of the week? Honestly, I think this is exactly why the collective starts in trust and then transitions into faith. Because y'all have already released this whole burden. Y'all already stopped trying to prove something. Y'all have already stopped trying to convince anyone of anything. Y'all already stopped carrying responsibility for any other person's choices. So naturally, the trust becomes the faith. Faith that the truth prevails. Faith that reality catches up. faith that the cause and effect exists, and faith that what is hidden eventually comes into the light. And that brings us into our second middle column here. I've got the Five of Swords reversed, the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Moon. So this is where the energy starts shifting. Because this Five of Swords reverse, it literally says shifting the energy. It says embrace change, conquer self-doubt. And what's really standing out is it says unexpected, and then it says surprises. So I'm getting immediately that something has already been set into motion here. The shift has already happened. The collective isn't creating it. It has already begun. And I don't think the surprise on this card has landed just quite yet. But I do think that it's approaching. And I also think that when it arrives, it's going to run right into this Queen of Swords and reverse, Queen of Swords reverse, and this Moon energy. Because this Queen of Swords reverse, she is also not healthy. This is harsh, critical, calculating, somebody with clouded vision who is easily influenced. And directly underneath this Queen of Swords reverse is this Moon, which is about misconception, deception, illusion, blocked intuition. So together, I mean, honestly, this looks like a mess to me. Because now we're no longer looking at distorted masculine energy. We're looking at distorted masculine and distorted feminine energy existing inside the same person. One vessel. Two personalities. So I'm getting thoughts are distorted. Emotions are distorted. Perception is distorted. Intuition is distorted. Everything with this person is distorted. And suddenly, when you look at it this way, I guess this perplexity starts making a little more sense. Because the emotional scene here doesn't match reality anymore. Nothing about this person's behavior feels grounded. Nothing about it feels stable. Nothing about it feels rational here. And I think that people around this energy are starting to notice that also, because the distortion, the illusion, it's become too obvious to ignore. And that really does cause some perplexity. This is feeling of being unable to comprehend the current situation, leaving you feeling lost. So let's see what we end here in the last column. I have Knight of Cups reverse, the Ace of Cups reverse, and then the message ends with this strength. So I'm getting, wow, the Knight of Cups reverse. This doesn't feel romantic to me at all. This feels manipulative. This feels like charm being used as a weapon. This is heartbreaker, love bomb energy. This is manipulation. This is revoked offers. This is disappointment. And what I'm getting is this person that you're looking at here. This is a person who says, I will use charm to get anything that I want. Or maybe they say, I will say whatever I need to say for access. Or maybe I will become whatever version of myself that I need to become to get me the outcome that I'm after. And honestly, guys, this is dangerous energy. Mixed with this, because there is no sincerity attached to this person. There is no accountability attached to them either. There is absolutely zero emotional integrity attached to this person. This person is performance. Immediately under this Ace of Cups, immediately under this Knight of Cups reversed comes this Ace of Cups reverse. So this is about, it says, time for reflection, holding back. Naturally, I have to give this energy to the collective because I'm getting, y'all already saw this person for who they are. Y'all are not chasing it. Y'all are not trying to fix it. Y'all are definitely not saving it. I'm getting y'all are staying clear of it. And that makes sense because the collective, y'all have real life responsibilities. Y'all have real life goals. We talked about this at the beginning. Y'all have real life obligations. And I'm getting that this other energy, they know very little about any of that. Because this message ends with the arrival of strength. And this card is going to close the entire message because this card is about confidence, courage, self-belief, personal power. This is about wisdom, infinite potential, and invisible force. So suddenly, the spotlight isn't on this King of Wands anymore. The spotlight is on the collective. Not because you all took the spotlight. No. I'm getting y'all earned it. If you understand the heart of a distorted King of Wands, then y'all already know that watching somebody else rise watching somebody else thrive, watching somebody else receive the attention, the recognition, watching somebody else stand in their power. This absolutely burns this other energy up alive. Because the thing a distorted King of Wands wants the most is they want to be significant. And no matter how they spin this narrative, I'm getting clearly that the spotlight has shifted now. And that's where justice comes back one last time into this message. Because like I said before, the contrast here cannot be denied anymore. One energy is becoming stronger. One energy is becoming more distorted. One energy is standing in faith while the other stands in confusion. And one energy is standing in truth while the other energy stands in illusion. And honestly, I think that's the real reason this perplexity card even showed up. Because when you look at these two energies side by side, they don't even seem like they belong in the same reality together. They're operating on completely different ends of the spectrum. So the question really becomes now, how did these two energies ever even connect with each other in the first place? And honestly, I don't think the answer to that matters anymore. I think what matters is that this connection, it was not built on honesty. Because if it had been, we wouldn't be looking at this kind of level of distortion. And I'm getting that whatever has been operating underneath the surface here, whatever has been hidden, whatever has been avoided, it's all started catching up to each other. Maybe consequences have started to arrive. Maybe reality has started to arrive. Maybe truth is arriving. Either way, we know something has shifted. And I don't think what this other energy does next, I don't think it even matters, because they were left way back here moving in this obsessed and manipulated energy. I don't think this message is about them. I think at all. I think this message is about the collective. I think this message is saying, trust yourselves. Stand in y'all's faith. Stand in y'all's truth. Stand in y'all's strength. And let the distortion collapse under its own weight. Because that is what naturally happens to distortion when you stand up to it. And I'm getting that your job here is not to save the distortion. Your job is to see it, to keep moving forward, and let it die. And that's the message that I got for y'all today. So if this one landed for you, then like my message, leave me a comment, and follow along. Send your energy into my channel so that I can continue to bring you these messages that I know are landing. And remember, where there is love, there is light. I'll see y'all again real soon.